Hi, and welcome to another MLC webinar. Today, we are going to talk about cozy mysteries, or as I like to say, family, friends, good food, and dead bodies. Most importantly, dead bodies. So let's get with it. As with all of my trainings, I always like to start with a definition of what I'm going to talk about. So, what are cozy mysteries? Cozy mysteries are a subgenre of crime fiction. They are generally considered to be gentler than other mysteries. And here are some stereotypes of cozies. They're usually true, but not always true. They often feature comforting elements, such as amateur sleuths. The detective is not someone who is usually um, officially called to the scene. Sometimes they are, though. Um, they're usually in proximity to whatever mystery or murder has happened, hence the dead bodies. And they are generally lighter in tone. Some other ingredients to cozies, as people who read them a lot like to call them. Cozy mysteries often feature characters that readers enjoy and become very invested in. And I believe that is why, for the most part, most cozies are in a series. It is very rare to have a cozy standalone. They are out there, but it is very rare. Most cozies do take place in a small town where people know each other. And if it's not in a small town, it is in a close-knit community in a larger city. Why is this? Um, I believe the reason this is because this allows the sleuth to have as many possible close suspects that they are actually very familiar with. And then the reader becomes familiar with those people as well. And in a series, they'll continue on throughout the series. Um, Cozy mysteries, for the most part, tend to de-emphasize violence, profanity, and sex, and the crime is typically explained in less detail. It's not as graphic. So it might be like old Mrs. Dunbar next door. She is dead. We found her dead, but they usually aren't going to describe the gritty detail of her blood oozing from her body. There are many themes to the types of cozy mysteries. If you've read one cozy mystery, you've read one cozy mystery. They vary so much. I've read several. Some I've read many years ago, and I thought, oh, these are for old ladies. Like what? But let me tell you, cozy mysteries are they're coming around, and they are not for old ladies. Um, I say that because I do not think I'm an old lady, and I like them. But there's all different kinds now. Um, Here are some themes in cozy mysteries. This is not an all encompassing list at all. Um, we have culinary tales. That is where food is it may not be part of the actual mystery itself, but it will be part of the there's a family involved, like food will be talked about a lot. There might even be some recipes in the books, which a lot of readers like. Food will be a big topic of conversation. Um, then there are animal cozies where there is always maybe the same animal, maybe a different animal in each book, but there's always going to be an animal that could be helping solve the mystery. They could be actually taking on human characteristics sometimes. There's all different ways there are animal cozies. Then there are historical or period mysteries where they are set in a different historical time period. Um, there are cozies that are set in different countries. I mainly see them set in Ireland, Scotland, um, England. British mysteries, British cozies, excuse me, are very popular. There's a lot of those very popular. One of my favorite themes is when is a what I call vacation gone wrong, where you have a person that is just like do going on vacation. Maybe like the beach theme I have going on behind me, which I am not at, unfortunately. And something goes awry, and then the person is pulled, like I said, pulled into that type of mystery, and they're forced to be a detective of some sort. Then I have what I have coined hobby central. Some people call it like occupational mysteries, where like for the whole series, it's all about gardening or sewing or quilting. Those are also very popular. And then I really like these. There are paranormal or supernatural cozies, and that those are becoming popular, and there's more and more of those being written. Now, there are more than these. This is just a sampling to let you know that one cozy mystery is just that, is one cozy. So don't group them all together. A couple other things I'd like to say about cozies is that oftentimes there is a sidekick or a professional that the amateur sleuth is working with. Um, so I think that's always kind of a cool thing. Sometimes the sidekick is very skeptical of what's going on, and so it's kind of nice to have that alternate perspective. And then what I really like are some of the titles that some of the series have. They cozies like a pun. There are lots of great puns, and I'll show you some when I talk a little bit more about specific series and titles, which I think will be coming up. Ah, here we go. So I'm going to show you various types of cozies. Some are new titles that are coming out. Some are series with a new title, and some are like classic series as well. But I just kind of want to show you the variety of cozies that are available. So here is the Senior Sleuth series. The latest one coming out is called Peg and Rose Play the Ponies. And this series is by Lorraine Berenson. And Rose is a former nun, and with her sister-in-law Peg, who they don't always get along, and that's kind of good. That's kind of, you kind of want that dynamic a little bit. They often come across some dead bodies and some crazy times. What I love about the covers is that they catch your attention. They're very vibrant, and they have clues to what is going to happen within the book. So like I said, the latest one coming out is Peg and Rose Play the Ponies. The very first one was Peg and Rose Solve a Murder. Um, and the Peg and Rose Play the Ponies, it should be out in June. So you might know this author from her very popular dog-centered series called the Melanie Travis Mysteries, which there are many of. I'm not sure exactly how many, but there are only 3 right now in the Senior Sleuth series. But I think this would be great for your collection because just for one, the covers are so fun and vibrant. And I think that especially in the summertime, people are looking for something a little more laid back and not as serious. I don't want to say beach read, even though I am at the beach, but maybe beach ready. And it would be great for a display. Like it would really catch people's eye. So that is the Senior Sleuth series. And these are also vibrant. These are beautiful books. This is the Tita Rosie's Kitchen Mystery Series by Mia P. Manansala. Mia is a Filipino-American author, and I like that for various reasons. For one, you're going to bring some diversity into your collection, which all libraries need and should be looking at. But I like these books for a couple other reasons. They're culinary cozy mysteries, and they contain recipes. And so it is about, let me tell you just a little bit about what the books are about. It is about a woman, and her name is Lila. And there is oftentimes a common theme of a person, something bad happens in their life and they need a big change and they come back home. And then they're very family oriented. Cozies are for the most part. So she comes back home. Lila comes back home, and she starts working with her family in their not their Filipino restaurants. It's not going so well. And the restaurant business is a difficult business, you know. And she also has a dachshund name. Are you ready for it? Longanisa. And longanisa is a Filipino sausage dish. So you get the little pun there. And as a dachshund lover myself, I have to, I immediately love the series already. And Longanisa is on the cover of all the books in some regard, as you can see. So the very first book was Arsenic and Adobo. And at so right now there's 4, and the 5th one won't be coming out until November, but that's 4 that you can add to your collection. And I think that they're very popular as well. So anyway, that's all I got to say about those. I really like this series, and I think your patrons would too. And again, great display. They're very eye-catching. Next, we have a new series coming out, and it is the first in a series called Love and Le Breton Mysteries. Hope I'm saying that correctly. It is called Death at the Dress Rehearsal by Stuart Douglas. This has just come out, and it is the first one in the series is actually set in the 1970s. So that's kind of a neat, interesting little quirk. And it is about 2 aging actors. Their names are Edward and John. And they are recording a TV series. And on the set of the TV series, they find a woman who has drowned. And without saying too much, the police deem it an accidental drowning, and they're not so sure about that. So they become, as I said before, they're kind of thrown into this. They didn't seek out to become these amateur sleuths. Um, so that's kind of neat. I like this because it has this odd couple thing going on, and it's a cozy British series. And like I like that it's set on like it's the plot it's set on a movie, like a we're not movie, but a TV set. Um, anyway, I think it'll be neat. And if you are already a cozy reader and you are a fan of the Thursday Murder Club, I have read that this one is something that might be up your alley as well. Ah, and we're talking about the pun. Now, the Noodle Shop Mystery Series by Vivian Jen. So the first one in the series is called what was called or is called Death by Dumpling. And then the newest one coming out in July is Peking Duck and Cover. It's just I don't know. I just love it. Maybe they're dad jokes, or I don't know, but I just think they're great. So this is a series. It is about a woman who comes home after major life changes, and she returns to her family's restaurant. Another theme that will come up a lot. And she returns to the restaurant. It's called the Holy Noodle House, uh, which, it's kind of punny too. And her family, they try to match make with her and, fix her up, and she's not down with that. And meanwhile, she does a little, she becomes a detective of sorts. She's kind of thrown into it. Ha. And they're really fun. I believe there are 9 in the series with this latest one coming out. Um, but yeah, very popular series. If you do not have this in your collection, you might want to think about that. And then we have the Aunties series by Jessie Q. Santanto. The Auntie series is cool in that, again, actually with a lot of the cozies, you're going to find a lot of diversity. But the Auntie series is about a woman, and her name is Medi, and she is her mother is Chinese Indonesian, and her aunts are very up in her business, like more so than she would like that. And she goes on a blind date, and things happen, and she accidentally kills him. It happens. And so she calls the aunties to help her. And of course they do. Because, you would help your family if they accidentally killed somebody, right? So there is a lot of focus on the family so like that's a common theme coming up, focus on the family. It's fun. It's a little slapsticky. But if you're okay with that and you're okay with it not being so serious, you'll really like these books. There's only 3 in the series right now, and I'm not sure if there's going to be any more. But the first one that came out was very, very popular. And I'm not sure about the others, to be honest with you, but you don't have to read them. Like these could be read as standalones, actually. Okay, they were going to get into some animals. The Lighthouse Library Mystery Series by Eva Gates. Well, first of all, you've got several things going for librarians here. You've got a lighthouse, that's a library. You've got a cat who is Charles, the library cat. And you have a woman who her relationship, she had a long-term relationship that ended. So she moves to Outer Banks, North Carolina, and she gets her dream job as a librarian in a lighthouse library. I would love that. Love it, love it, love it on so many levels. And I know many other librarians that would. And while I don't own a cat, I used to. And I would love to have a library cat, especially beautiful Charles. Charles is on the cover of every book, and he's got his own personality. We'll put it that way. So anyway, it happens right off the bat in the first book, which is By Book or By Crook. And the latest one coming out is The Stranger in the Library. Um, and it might already be out. I don't have that one. That one is coming out. But that is what happens, or just the synopsis of what happens in that. There's an art show at the library, and paintings start going missing, and then people start going missing. Sounds like a job for Charles, don't you think? Excuse me. Oh, right. Aren't these books beautiful? Ah, they are. And the story is just beautiful. They are the Shady Hollow Mystery Series by Juno Black. Now, Shady Hollow is an interesting place. It is a place where animals live, and animals take on human characteristics. It is an anthropomorphic book. So animals, act as if they are human-like. So if you are okay with that, then you might like this series. There are 5 books in the series. The first one was just called Shady Hollow. The next one coming out is called Summer's End, and it's supposed to be coming out sometime this summer, which makes sense. So in the very first one, I'll tell you a little bit about that. A murder has happened, shocker, and Mr. Toad has been murdered. And who is on the case but Vera Vixen? Vera Vixen is a fox, and she is a reporter, and she is going to find out what happened to local resident Mr. Toad. Now, Vera Vixen has a trusty friend who wants to help her. Remember in the beginning, I talked about having like sidekicks and skeptical people? Well, her good friend owns the local bookshop, and she is a raven, and her name is Lenore Lee. So Vera's got her skeptical friend Lenore, and they're going to find out what happened to Mr. Toad. Now, you might think, oh, these sound like little children's books. No, they have dark element to them. So I think these books are just enchanting, and they it's very hard to put them in a category. It's neat because there's a coffee shop that they go to in Shady Hollow, and it's called Joe's Mug. And you can actually go on the website for this series and buy a coffee mug that says Joe's Mug on it. So I don't know, it's really cool. Okay, so I've given you like some examples of different types of cozy mystery series, and that are very different. But I wanted to give you a couple of resources on how to find some series, how to find some authors, when you have patrons that want more information, or they say, I like this author, but I want to know, I want to try another series. So very reader's advisory. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to tell you about a couple of websites, and then I'm going to show you Novelist as well, probably Novelist Plus, and then I'll explain the difference between Novelist and Novelist Plus. So these are two websites that I think are very handy. One is called, it's just called cozy-mystery.com. Now, both of these are just created by regular people. They're not ran by libraries. They're not ran by corporations, which I think makes it better. So cozy-mystery.com, the person that runs that is a freelance author and just a huge mystery fan that reads a lot of cozies. So that's kind of a good thing. That, I mean, that's the kind of person that runs it. And if you go on the website and you go to about, you can find out more about the person that runs it. It is very filled with information, very full. And some of the things that the website has, and it's very well organized. It is has soon to be released mysteries. It lists all kinds of themes. So I gave you some, but it has a whole lot more. It has new mystery releases, which I guess is what I just said, new mystery series, popular ones. Like if you're wanting to look at your collection and just purchase maybe the more popular series, you can look there. Also, it has like the holiday link. So if you're looking for specific holiday ones to buy, you can look there as well. Okay, and then there's the Cozy Mysteries Unlimited. That is also ran by a regular person. And a person, it's a, I think I always say, I say it's a he, but I don't know why I say that because it doesn't indicate. But this person is a website programmer, and it might be a group of people, but go to the about and it'll tell you who it is. You can actually create an account on this site, and you can create a checklist and keep up with what cozy mysteries you've been reading. So that's really neat. I think I mean, if you're a big cozier, you can, I mean, that would be really interesting. You can even, there's a place where you can suggest that the person add things to their website. Maybe there's a series that you read that's not on there. It's very, I really like the way this one's set up because it has drop down menus, and that's like my go-to. I love a drop down menu. Let's see, it has new releases by year. Oh, and I really like, you can view titles by season, state, and author. That's kind of cool. So if you're looking for a specific season, like let's say you want to buy books for, Halloween, my favorite holiday, you can, order ahead of time and get those ready. It's just a super handy site. I like them. They're both great. They're both really, really good. So I recommend them both, but please do your research on them yourself. Okay, and now we are going to look at Novelist. But let me just, well, we're going to look at Novelist Plus, but let me just tell you the difference between Novelist and Novelist Plus. So Novelist is part of the Magnolia databases. Magnolia, as you know, is available to anyone in Mississippi. And it only includes fictional titles. Novelist Plus is paid for by the Mississippi Library Commission, and you can access it if you have a Mississippi Library Commission library card, or if you are in our building using one of our computers. It has nonfiction, fiction, and audiobooks included. So I always prefer Novelist Plus because it has more stuff in it. I mean, So I'm going to stop sharing my presentation and I'm going to take you to Novelist Plus because I want you to see that. And I want to encourage you to get an MLC library card. It's very easy to do. You can contact me. I'll have my contact information at the end of this presentation. You do need to have there's a stipulation. You have to already have a card at your local library before you can get a card with us. So that's the only stipulation. Um, so yeah, and then you can have access to a lot of other databases that are not available in Magnolia, and we'll send you the passwords to those. You should be seeing the MLC website. It's mlc.lib.ms.us. And if you go over here to quick links and scroll down to online databases, and then it tells you a little bit about how you need to contact reference services, if you want a library card, but you can contact me if you want, or you can contact reference services. Novelist Plus is right here. And like I said, you can access this outside of our building with if you have an MLC library card, but you do have to have a code. Since I am here at work, I know you can't tell because it looks like I'm on vacation. I didn't have to put in my code. So this is Novelist Plus, and you can tell because it says Novelist Plus. And I'm going to show you very basic things. Now, I do a whole reader's advisory training that includes Novelist Plus training. And if you would like more information about that, again, you can contact me. My contact information will be at the end of this presentation. The first thing I want to do is just it's an advanced search, but it's a basic advanced search. So what we're going to do, we're going to go here and click on advanced search. And we are just going to type in cozy. I can never spell when I have to spell it. Like it's so bad. Mystery. Okay. And that's going to be genre. And then go down here to limit your results. And let's just limit it to adults for right now. And that's limited to fiction, even though it probably won't bring up any nonfiction, but it could. And then that's it. And then let's click search. Okay. So about 5,500. That's a lot. So let's change this publication date with our handy slider. So let's look at ones that are more current. When you get like real close to this year, it's hard. So I'm gonna just do 2020 to 2024. Now you do have to click update results again. Okay. And that brings us up to 1,023. Okay, that's good. And you see that it has books and then audio books also because we are in Novelist Plus. So let's pick one of these. Oh, before we do that, let's click on sort by. So let's sort by the newest. So let's do the date of the newest. Okay, that's going to be the ones that are coming out like right now. Okay. Well, we have some coming out in July, so they are already in here, but they're going to be called forthcoming. So that's when you know that they are not out yet, but they will be. So just scroll a little bit in here. Let's look at this one here. Oh, look, here's Peg and Rose Played Ponies. Even though it comes out in June, it still says forthcoming. Maybe it comes out in later June. Maybe it hasn't come out yet. Dead Tired. Let's look at that. Okay. This is from, I'm going to just tell you kind of some of the features that you can see from the search. So you have the author, you have the series here. You can see that it's number 2 in the Expectant Detective series. It tells you a little bit about the book. It tells you the genre. You can also put in gentle reads and you would come up with this book. The characters are likable. And like I said before, way in the beginning, generally the characters in cozies are likable. And there might be like 1 or 2 like not that aren't likable, just to have like a nemesis. But for the most part, most of the characters, especially the protagonist, is going the sleuth is going to be likable. This one is fast paced. Not all cozies are fast paced, so that's kind of nice to know. You got your tone, your writing style. Okay. Then you've got your professional reviews. This is good when you are, if you're needing to add something to your collection and you have to justify why you're buying it, you know, because you're following your collection development policy. Here's something that I think is important. Okay, let's say you've never heard of this series and you're like, I don't know anything about it. I don't want to buy number 2 because I don't have number 1. Nobody wants to read the second one if they haven't read the first one. So I clicked on the series. And so this brings me to information about the Expectant Detectives mysteries. So this is about the series, not about the books, like each individual book. So this one brings me to the first one in the series, but it's telling me about the series. In the same thing, characters are likable, setting up the series for me. And it's giving, there's only 2 in the series, because you've got that's the first one. This is the second one. And then these read-alikes are for the series, not for each individual title. If I wanted a read-alike for the individual title, I would have to click on this title and then see how it gives me different read-alikes because I'm looking at the title, not the series. And again, if this is too quick, I do a whole RA webinar. So there is that. We can go back. Let's just do a little going back. I want to go back to our list here. Okay. And if we wanted to look at audiobooks, let's see what it would tell us. Audiobooks are big right now. So there's 887 audiobooks between 2020 and 2024. And here's what it will tell you about audiobooks. It'll tell you the length of time. It'll tell you about the book. And it'll tell you, you know, other things like the regular books, the genre, the theme, the tone. Sometimes you'll get a professional audiobook review, but it looks like this time you don't. Give you the publisher of the audiobook, the narrator. That's always important because people get stuck on narrators. People like certain narrators. As an audiobook listener, I can totally understand this. And then listen alikes. So it's only one listen alike on this one. And that's kind of strange, but and let's go back to the result list. And then you're right back here. If you want to refine your list, you can change it however you want based on these limiters here. You can just click on one and let's say like pace. Let's say you were like, oh, I feel like a leisurely pace book. And then it totally changes it. So see, it changes it to 22 books. And it looks like our old friends at the Senior Sleuths, Peg and Rose Stir Up Trouble, is a leisurely pace cozy. So see, they're not all fast paced. This is a very quick little introduction to Novelist Plus, but I just wanted to introduce it to you. And that is what I have for you on cozies. Just a quick little ditty about what they are, what kinds of books they are, how they vary greatly from each other. So if you have any questions for me, or if you would like additional information, or if you have questions about Novelist Plus, let me know. And I would be thrilled to help you out because that is what I love to do. And that is what I am here for.